Green Bay wraps up their first-round bye, and they're still playing for that home field advantage with the win over the Rams. And, things just happened as expected. Obviously, it was a landmark day because of the passing yard record. And Favre's got everything now. He's number one everywhere. He's like Bono in that South Park episode, More Crap. He's just number one everywhere, and he's got the most attempts, completions, yards, touchdowns, interceptions, wins. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He's got 3 consecutive MVPs. Just what can't he do? It is special. And when I'm watching him play, sometimes it's easy to forget that because he doesn't take off for 90 yards like Mike Vick used to, and he doesn't make 20 people miss like Barry Sanders. But you see what I'm getting at. He just real special, and that was pretty much the highlight of this game. He threw a couple touchdowns, couple of picks, had that one long bomb to Jennings, which was just laughable on the part of the Rams. Nick Barnett had a huge game, a couple of sacks. I can't remember if he made the Pro Bowl or not, but he definitely deserved to. So, there you go. And not a lot to say here. Bulger returns, doesn't play too well. Gets picked off by Big B, who's been struggling lately, so it's nice to see him step up with a couple of big plays. Steven Jackson had a big game. It was all for naught, obviously. And, it was just a game. It was somewhat relevant, but not a lot happened beyond the record setting. Buccaneers 37, Falcons 3, and Tampa's just plastered Atlanta this year, I think by a combined score of 80-10 or something this season. It's just crazy what they've been able to do to them. And Garcia actually threw a pick for the first time in about a month and a half, so it's obviously a concern. If he can't protect the ball, one of the big advantages of the Buccaneers just kind of goes down the drain. But, obviously he's still playing quite well, making do with the pretty average core of wide receivers. Ernest Graham continues to produce, which, who saw that one coming, The defense continues to make plays. Rondé Barber continues to have a nice rejuvenation year after he was a bit out of it last year. Their rookie, Adams, I can't remember the name of their first-round rookie, the defensive end, something Adams, I think, but, he's making plays now, too. And as for the Falcons, I don't know how you can get away with passing it 15 times in a game where you're down by this much. It's confuddling to me. But, they just didn't have the ball very much on offense at all. They kept turning it over. But Chris Redmond, 4 of 15 for 34 yards and 2 picks. When you're down, you should be throwing it a lot, even if you're just piling up bad stats. That's kind of confusing to me. I obviously didn't watch this game, so I don't know how that happened. Saints over the Cardinals. That kind of puts the Saints out of the playoff picture. I think they're eliminated now, so, so much for that. It looked like this might finally be the year, but it just wasn't meant to be. They can still finish 500, which would be a nice motivation for them, but right now it's just too many penalties. They had 10 today, which is just ridiculous. Offensively, they moved the ball. They got some... Kurt Warner had a pretty nice day. Edgerrin James moved the ball on the ground. Their receivers made some nice plays. They had all of them healthy, I think. Their defense forced a turnover or two. So, things did work. It was ultimately the penalties that killed them. And obviously, Drew Brees lit him up real nicely. He only threw 4 incompletions on the day. And Aaron Stecker, well, I don't want to insult Bush, but he looks better than Bush right now, that's for sure. Marcus Colston's having an under-the-radar, really good year. People kind of forgot about him now, but he's playing lights out. As is David Patton. And, this team's playoff chances are looking all right. They have to win out. They have to hope Minnesota loses a game, but it could happen. And I don't want to play them with that high-powered offense that they got. Dolphins got a win. So, continuing with what I said last week, I think we need to buy this franchise now if we're going to, because The price is only going to go up now that they're actually winning games. They're asking for $1 billion now. After that win, who knows what they're going to do. So, if you got some money to put into the Miami Dolphins fund, just give me a message and I'll do what I can because it's for a good cause. It's for a good cause. Anyway, nice win. Cleo Lemon steps in and proves that John Beck doesn't have any excuses for his poor play, so there you go. And Baltimore's just hit the bottom of the barrel. And it really is weird how this happened. They were able to run the ball pretty well. And if you're able to get your running game going against the worst team in the league, pretty much bar none, you wonder how can't you win. And when they sent in that field goal unit on 4th and 1 at the 1 yard line with 3 seconds left or whatever, bark, 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 bark. Okay, I know that was bad, but you get what I'm saying. Go for the points. Your season's over. Don't play for overtime where a coin toss could decide your fate or one big play could decide your fate. If you don't have faith in your really good running back to gain 1 yard in a clutch situation, then maybe you should just forfeit the game. And that might be somewhat hypocritical of me because my team, Seattle, has a hard time converting those 1 yard situations this year sometimes, but that's, I am disappointed in them for having to do that. I'm not happy about it. I do think that an NFL team should be able to will themselves to get a single yard when that's all they need. That's all I'm saying. And Miami, I don't quite know where they managed to win the game here beyond Cleo Lemon having pretty much the game of his life. Jason Taylor, back from the dead, made a big play. Had a couple of sacks. And Ray Lewis, one of my favorite players, probably my favorite player in the NFL, was having a good game, and then I think he broke his hand, so he'll be out for probably the rest of the season, and it sucks, but he made his another Pro Bowl, so that's just adding to his legacy. I'm down with that. Yep. So Indy 21, Oakland 14. Oakland, they scared us for a little bit there. They put up a fight. Huggy Bear Jr., Justin Fargas having a nice season, playing some real nice football right now. Josh McCown, he, managed the game and moved the ball and got first downs. But ultimately, it was about the defense of the Raiders. They got a turnover. They got to the quarterback 4 times. And twice, the Colts got down to the 1 yard line and could not move it into the end zone. When the Colts got close to the end zone, the Raiders just played perfect defense, and I was amazed by how well they were able to play. Joseph Adai was held to practically nothing all game. He moved the ball a little bit near the end, though. Kenton Keith, same. They just did a great job tackling, great job in coverage, great job getting after the passer. It was just a clinic for most of the game, but ultimately the Raiders are not a good enough team to come away with a win. And they fell to 4-10. Manning led the offense down the field with a couple minutes left and scored the go-ahead touchdown. Anthony Gonzalez made a great catch, and he's come so far as a rookie. And I gotta say, I cannot wait to see how this offense performs in the playoffs, especially if they get Marvin Harrison back, because without Harrison in the lineup, Gonzalez has done a lot of growing, and he's coming along. And as for the Colts on defense, they had a hard time stopping the Raiders when they needed to, but they clamped down right at the end when they needed it the most. And Freddie Keaho had a big game, and he's one of those no-name linebackers that comes to Indy and succeeds. So, yeah, that's about it. So this team continues to roll on, and yeah.